All right, let's talk about something that hits close to home for all of us, your paycheck. We're going to dive into a question that might just flip the way you think about your job and your career.
Seriously, think about that for a second. Is your salary really about the box you check on an org chart? Or is it about what you can actually do, your unique talents, and your potential to learn and grow? That's the huge idea we're digging into today. Okay, so let's jump right into this totally different way of thinking about compensation. This is a pretty big shift from how things have been done for, well, a really long time. We're moving the spotlight away from the job and putting it right onto the person doing it.
I mean, just imagine a system where learning literally translates into earning, where your company is actively investing in you and your paycheck grows as your knowledge grows, even if you don't get a new title or a promotion. That's the promise here, and it's a real game changer.
So what do we actually call this thing? It's known as person-focused pay. Let's break down exactly what that means. And this right here is the heart of it. It's a system that pays you for learning, for mastering new skills that are actually relevant to the work. Your value isn't just about what you do today, it's about what you're capable of doing tomorrow.
And you know, this isn't some one-size-fits-all deal. It actually breaks down into three main flavors. You've got pay for knowledge, which you'll often see in professional jobs where you're learning specific stuff. Then there's skill-based pay, really common in hands-on work where you're mastering physical tasks. And finally, competency-based pay, which is a bit broader. It looks at your overall ability to use your skills effectively. Now, what's really cool is how you can visualize these skills stacking up. Think of it like a pyramid. You start with a solid base of personal skills, things like being professional, working in a team. Then you build on that foundation, layer by layer, all the way up to the super specific, expert-level skills you need for your job, right at the very top.
We can also slice this a few different ways. You can build out your horizontal skills, that's adding more tasks at a similar level, or you can grow your vertical skills by taking on things like scheduling or leading a team. And then there's depth, which is all about becoming a true master of your craft. Each one is a different way to grow and a different path to earning more. Okay, so we get the what, but how do companies actually make this happen? How does it work in the real world? Let's check out a couple of the most common models. First up, we've got the most common one, the stair-step model. And yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It gives you a really clear, step-by-step path to move up. Just take a look at this chart here. It lays it all out perfectly. You can see this assembly technician starting out as a trainee and then moving up through different levels. Every single step they take involves mastering new skills. Some are required, some are optional, and with each step, their pay goes up. It's like a career ladder built on what you can do, not just how long you've been there. So to make that super concrete, think of it like this. Everybody has to do the basic required stuff, like a safety workshop. That's non-negotiable. Then, to get to the next step and a pay bump, you might learn a core skill, like how to restock the assembly line. And if you're really ambitious and want to earn even more, you could pick up an optional skill, maybe something like group facilitation that adds value way beyond just your technical role. But hey, not every career is a straight line, right? Some are a lot more flexible. And for that, there's another approach, the skill blocks model. And you can take that idea of flexibility even further. With a job point accrual model, you're actually encouraged to learn skills from totally different parts of the company. That creates an incredibly versatile team. Or think about the cross-departmental model. It's perfect for handling busy seasons because you have people trained to jump into other roles whenever they're needed. Okay, so now for the big showdown. How does this whole person-focused idea really stack up against the traditional job-based pay system that most of us are used to? At the end of the day, it really boils down to this one simple difference. Are you paying someone for their potential and all the skills they're building, or are you just paying for the specific job description they happen to have right now?
This table really breaks it down. With person-focused pay, your salary is tied to what you know, and you get a raise when you learn something new. The big win for employees? Your job is way more interesting and you get to do a bunch of different things. For the company, the huge advantage is flexibility. Compare that to the old way, where raises are tied to performance reviews and the main benefit for the company is just that, well, it's easier to manage. So, what's the final verdict here? This all sounds pretty good in theory, right? But does it actually work in the real world? Well, let's look at the numbers. First up, productivity. Get this, one study in a manufacturing plant saw a 58% jump in productivity after they put in a skill-based plan. That's incredible. The same place, the same people, making over half as much more stuff. Now you're probably thinking, okay,
but paying for all those skills has to cost more, right? Well, with that massive boost in productivity, the actual labor cost for every single part they made went down by 16%. They were making more for less.
Okay, so they're making more for less, but what about quality? Were they just rushing and cutting corners? Not at all. A more skilled, more engaged team led to a mind-blowing 82% reduction in scrap material. That means fewer mistakes and a way better product.
So let's wrap up the good stuff. For employees, you get more interesting work and better job security because your skills are in demand. For employers, you get a super flexible, high-performing team that can handle anything you throw at them. It's a win-win. But, it's not a magic bullet. There are definitely some big hurdles. These programs can cost more upfront in both wages and training, and they absolutely have to be backed up by a fantastic training program, or they just fall apart. Plus, one of the trickiest parts is just figuring out, how much is a new skill actually worth in dollars and cents. And that brings us to the big, forward-looking question. As things like automation and AI take over more and more of the routine stuff, are we going to see a fundamental shift? Will the new standard become a system that rewards the very things that make us human, our ability to learn, to adapt, to build deep expertise? Because when you pay people for their skills, you're investing in a workforce that can't be automated. Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.